No need to read into that song choice. Welcome to the Morning Buzz. My name's Ryan Trick, and you are listening to 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair, New Jersey. It is June 22nd. Beautiful Monday morning. My background is different, but don't worry about it.
It's only a visual joke, Ryan.
It is only a visual joke. If you want to understand that visual joke, feel free to check us out on our YouTube channel. Afterwards, you could see all of the wonderful things we pull up. You could see our wonderful faces. Maybe not mine. I look decent, I suppose. But who looks really good are my two co-hosts, Amanda Marino
Hello.
and Jeremy Wall. Hello. Uh,
Jeremy's having some technical difficulties
Jeremy's
right now.
having some sound difficulties. But either way, as I said, this is the Monday edition of the Morning Buzz. Thank you very much for joining us. First and foremost, we always are going to kick the show off with today's newscast. As Jeremy is having technical difficulties, I will temporarily.
I'm back.
He is back. Never mind, Jeremy. Perfect,
I'm back.
impeccable, wonderful timing. It's almost like we planned it. I wish we had that kind of coordination. Jeremy, I have to ask you the question, good sir. What, in fact, is going on in the world, Jeremy?
Well, Ryan, almost half of the U.S. are reporting a rise in COVID-19 cases. CNN is reporting that some are reporting to break records in their daily reported cases, and more young people are testing positive. States seeing an increase include Arizona, California, Colorado, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Kansas, Kentucky, Michigan, Missouri, Montana, Nevada, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and Utah. And Washington, West Virginia, and Wyoming are added to the list as well. 17 others are seeing a decrease, though, including New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and Connecticut. New Jersey's second phase of reopening continues today. People in the states will now be able to get their haircut, nails done, or even a tattoo, as beauty shops will be able to open their doors again. Camping will also be allowed. However, cabins, shelters, and certain campsites will remain closed. Museum of Natural History visitors will soon no longer be seeing the Teddy Roosevelt statue when they enter. According to TMZ, the museum asked the city for consent to remove the statue due to it explicitly depicting Black and Indigenous people as subjugated and racially inferior. It remains unknown as to when the statue will be removed and what will replace it. The Hollywood Reporter is reporting that Justin Bieber is denying sexual assault allegations revolving a woman in 2014. The woman, who goes by the Twitter name of Danielle, tweeted from an anonymous account on Saturday, only to have Twitter remove it after Bieber commented on the incident that took place at a hotel in Austin, Texas. Bieber tweeted last night, "Rumors are rumors, but sexual abuse is something I don't take lightly. I wanted to speak out right away, but out of respect to so many victims who deal with these issues daily, I wanted to make sure I gathered the facts before I made any statement." Bieber also claims that there is no truth to the story and was never present at that location. A noose was found in NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace's garage. According to ESPN, it was found in the garage at the Talladega Superspeedway in Lincoln, Alabama, 2 weeks after Wallace pushed the series to ban the Confederate flag at its tracks and facilities. Wallace never saw the noose, however, it was seen by a member of his team. Let's get to the forecast. Beautiful day for the second day of summer, as highs will be in the high 80s with lots of sunshine. Tomorrow, temps stay in the high 80s with more sun and clouds. Finally, Wednesday, a rise of temps in the mid to high 80s and a chance of storms. So great day to hit the personal care businesses. Anyone getting their hair done, nails done, a tattoo today?
I'm not getting a tattoo for a long time, even though I had planned to get one about the first month of quarantine. I feel like I'm going to hold off on that for a while, but hopefully I will get my hair cut soon.
It's a quarantine decision. That's
my general rule is, if my hair begins obeying the law of gravity, I have to get it cut. It is too long. Normally I spike my hair up, so hopefully I will be getting a haircut soon. But It is getting hot out, man. It is currently, as of this recording, it is 10 in the morning, and it is, by me at least, 82 degrees outside. That's nuts. That's so hot. Like 2 weeks ago, it was like 60 out. What happened?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's summer.
It's called summer, bro.
I know. I'm happy about it. Don't get me wrong. I'm very happy to see that summer is finally back and just ready and here. I cannot stand the cold weather. I prefer summer because I can come inside and there be AC, crack the
It's
windows,
actually
go out and
interesting
grill.
you talk about the summer and like we talk about like all this stuff like we were just mentioning quarantine and everything. You know, I have a question for both of you. I've been thinking about this
Ah.
quite a bit. If let's say this quarantine thing happened back in like November, December, do you think people would have treated it differently because people would have wanted to because it was cold outside and people were like, "Oh, I can't really go many places anyway because it's not hot out, it's not summertime." You know what I mean? Like what do you guys
Yes,
think about that?
absolutely.
More or less.
It's interesting that you brought that up because I was actually thinking about that this past weekend. I do feel like people would have treated it much differently, uh, because people are less likely to, at least here in the Northeast, people are less likely to go out in the winter. I mean, in my town, nothing will stop New Jerseyans from going to get ice cream, even if it's snowing out. But apart from that, you don't see as many people going out and whatnot. And I do feel like, yeah, people would have treated it much more differently. But that is an interesting point that you bring up.
No, yeah, and I mean, obviously, it would cause other issues. Like I'm already thinking about if we had closed in the winter, I think a lot of more restaurants would have probably suffered because they wouldn't have been able to do outside dining and things. So
Mhm.
obviously, this is a way to help things a lot more. But it was just something that like crossed my mind that I thought was interesting. Like, do we think that like if it was cold out, people would be like, "Oh, I can't go to the beach right now, anyways," on an or you know what I mean? Because
Exactly.
it's snowing out. Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, I do feel like a lot of the country probably would be treating it differently, but sadly, nothing we can do
We
about it.
can't do anything about it anymore.
Yeah. But hey, it's a good point. Interesting maybe for people to think about. Now we got a great show. TikTok gets political. What is it? The Morning Buzz goes out to eat. That I'm excited to talk about, and some awesome Amazon workers to top off the show. But to start the show, it wouldn't be a news day without your daily dose of Donald Trump. Sorry, President Donald Trump. Um, gotta don't give me that look, Amanda. Don't do it. I see it. Don't do it. So for those of you who were unaware, Donald Trump had a rally recently that where TikTok teens and K-pop fans are claiming they were the reason his rally basically sank. Um, Trump officials are anonymously admitting, are anonymously admitting that TikTokers and K-pop fans likely helped tank his rally in Tulsa, despite vigorously denying it in public. I'll let you take this one away, Amanda.
Oh, why are you making me take this? You were
I
doing
just,
great at that.
we'll go back and forth on it. This will be a
Well,
fun one.
okay, I just want to say something really fast before we even go into it, because maybe this will help you go into the rest of it.
Oh yeah.
So obviously, if people have heard this thing about like TikTokers maybe like buying the seats or whatever, and that's why there wasn't a lot of they wasn't full. My only question then is where was everybody that was outside? Because they set up for everything to be outside if it like overflew from the stadium arena, that like there was going to be a way that people could stand outside and cheer on, and there wasn't anybody standing out there and cheering on. So
Yeah.
just an observation I want to make. Nothing really more to add about that. But President Donald Trump's campaign director has publicly pushed back against reports that K-pop fans and TikTokers helped tank Trump's Saturday rally by reserving thousands of tickets and not showing up.
So, and of course, before we get into this story, the views and opinions expressed on air are that of the hosts and do
Yes, of
not
course.
reflect the views and opinions of the station as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that said, this is hilarious to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Brad Parscale said that leftists and online trolls don't know what they're talking about or how our rallies work, end quote, and blamed the low attendance on, quote, fake news, end quote, media. Um, the Trump campaign had boasted of a huge interest in the event, claiming 1 million supporters indicated like people were attending. And but other officials anonymously told the New York Times that many who signed up to the event were not real supporters but online tricksters, and that they likely helped inflate expectations.
and obviously fears about the coronavirus pandemic may have contributed to the low turnout, with Oklahoma recently recording a spike in new cases, which is actually true too. I did hear they had a spike, and I did hear that a lot of people necessarily didn't, other people didn't want the campaign to actually happen in Oklahoma because they were nervous about it. But it is also important to note that there was 6 people tested from the Trump's campaign that had coronavirus leading up to the campaign. I think it was announced that day, actually.
Yeah. So, and another thing, of course, Brad Parscale did say that, quote, registering for rally means you've RSVP'd with a cell phone number, and we constantly weed out bogus numbers. Okay, as we did with tens of thousands at the Tulsa rally in calculating our possible attendee pool, end quote.
But you could still, I think you could obviously still use, you could still use your real number and just not, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
You can still use, I want to pause on that because you can still use your real number.
Oh yeah, this was
we do have an image for those of you who are watching of the Trump rally that, I mean, it looks like a college class. There are not a lot of people.
I noticed that. I was like, where are the people?
Wait, but sorry, Jeremy, real quick, before you talk, I wanted to note something that I didn't note and see before. There are people wearing masks, some people. Not everybody, but some people. And I'm actually interesting.
Like a very small handful of people wearing masks. But so I understand they are trying to, kind of save face, I guess, and say like, oh, no, it's not, whatever. It's the fake news media. It's not the internet. It's not, these people. We weed out bad numbers, but they're not really addressing the fact that, yeah, you say all these things, but there were still not a lot of people. Like, I mean, here's the thing. If it was, TikTokers and online trolls and all this stuff, just own up to it.
Yeah.
Just say like, yeah, we got memed, like really hard. It's as simple as that.
Jeremy, what'd you want to say before? Sorry, I cut you off when I said the mask thing.
I was watching almost this entire rally. I missed the first 22 minutes of it. And one of the things I noticed was that crowd was pretty empty compared to previous rallies. I'm like, where are the fans? Where are the supporters? Where is
it was noticeable.
Everyone?
Yeah. No, yeah. And did you notice he shared pictures on his Twitter that were like, you couldn't see those crowds? That there was you could only see the people on the tight shots that people like only did of like the bottom half, so you couldn't see the top.
I did not see the pictures. I would love to see them though.
It's interesting.
I do want to also note, I don't know if it's true or not, but I did see it in my feed. And now, so as a lot of listeners or viewers know out there, I'm a theater major. So I'm part of a lot of acting groups and a lot of things. And there was something that was posted that I saw, and I don't know if it was real because I didn't see it on a personal one of my acting accounts, but maybe because I'm not near this city. There was an ad that was posted for actors to come and be in the crowd, and they'd pay you to go be in the crowd to be a supporter. And like I said, I didn't see it personally, but I saw it in other groups that people were like, "Did you see this?" Like, and it was like an ad to be one of the supporters in the crowd.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So, I mean, we've seen that before in other political things. I don't want to make it seem like it's just him. Like we've seen it at like some of the Democratic rallies.
That is something that.
But like right now, when you're risking your life to buy an actor, it's like.
Yeah. Here's a crazy, kind of slightly off topic fun fact for people who watch these live competition shows or whatever. I watch a lot of Food Network, and there's always a lot of them. They have like these live studio audiences. Those are actors. Those are not people, like just people who somehow got tickets. Like 90% of the time, those are actors who get paid to be a crowd.
Oh yeah, and that's not
same
uncommon.
thing with America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
With what is it? With the singing
auditions.
Show. America.
Well, and it's like
stuff like that.
Guys,
I mean, it's like most of the time it is paid people
you would
who
be
get paid to
surprised.
act as a crowd.
Are,
But
are
it's
you for real?
weird
I
that
thought.
that we still see that in politics, though, right, Jeremy?
Sometimes politics is definite. I've seen it a
Yeah.
couple times with like online things. Like most of the like, if you ever watch like a late night show, most of those like people that they randomly find, they don't really randomly find them. It's just usually like, unless it's something that's really viral or trending, like they usually audition people and stuff like that. It's not it's nothing that's like they just find you.
Well,
I mean,
are you
sometimes
talking?
they just find you, but
Well, what's
Are
that?
you talking
Ben?
about the people that are appear on the show that
it's a mix
aren't
of
People
both.
who
famous?
appear in the crowds. So a lot of
So
people,
I
a
can
lot of
contest to
crowds.
that.
Mhm.
I can contest to that because I've been in the crowd of a few late night shows and
I've been
daytime
into-
Well,
programming.
no.
Those are
Late
not.
night shows and stuff like that. Yeah, a
I
lot
was
of
saying
times those are
segments. I was saying
actual
segments.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, things, but a lot of other shows where people see live audiences, a lot of times, yeah, they are live audiences. However, a lot of them are people
Well,
who are
it's like
trained to be
you
an
look at the
audience.
something like the Grammys or something too, or like the not the Oscars. I'm sorry, the Grammys specifically, and some of the other music awards. There's always like a crowd in the front that's like people cheering and they're going nuts, and those are like totally actors, and you can totally
Yeah,
tell because
a
they're like,
lot of times those front crowds, yeah,
Mhm.
are actors. But things like the late night show, I mean, yeah, they have those are
yeah,
a
those are
lot of times
ticketed
those are
events.
people.
Because
Um,
I went on Jimmy Fallon and stuff. That was
yeah.
fun. But
So you were
Good
on
time.
Jimmy Fallon.
I hugged Jimmy Fallon.
Oh my God.
I once.
But no. So, anyway, so back to the rally thing. So that we got a little off tangent, but so the tight shots he used were a little interesting. I thought it was
Yeah,
a
and I
little
think there was an
weird.
interesting point that I heard about over the weekend from our general manager Annabella that she was watching Now This Politics, which had a live fact checker that was popping up and actually fact checking everything he was saying, which is actually really interesting. And whether you like Donald Trump or not, I think that's actually an interesting approach to politics and understanding, because we know politics, people lie, and people, from time to time, anybody.
But on
And I
any
think that's
side,
yeah, any side. I'm
on
not trying to
any
defend
side,
anything.
that's
And I think that's
just
interesting to
part
note,
of
because like that's cool, because I think in a sense you almost want to know if this person is telling a truth or telling a lot, like whatever the case may be. I think that's an interesting thing. But we also wanted to note, though, with this rally, he spent 12 minutes talking about the West Point ramp and glass of water incident, which, by the way, there was a video of the glass of water. The crowd went nuts when he drank the
drank a glass of water and everyone started cheering.
And it is also important to note that one thing, like, we know as radio, like working on radio, we don't like to highlight our errors. We just kind of keep on going. And that's like a lot of what's been happening, is they just spend 12, 15 minutes explaining whether he was walking down the ramp or anything, like fast or slow, whatever. You shouldn't be like, it happened. It's done. It's all in the air already. Everybody knows about it. You could try to fix it all you want, but it's just, you know what I mean? It's like me saying, like, me messing up the pronunciation. I can't even say
the pronunciation.
Oh my God! It's like me
messing
saying
up
a word
our pronunciation.
Don't make fun of me, Ryan. But anyway, it's like me saying
no,
a word
it's
wrong.
it's like
spelling
what
a
I
word
just did.
wrong. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna you're not gonna highlight on that. Like, you're just gonna be like, all right, I messed up. I'm gonna keep on going, and I'm just gonna move along. It's like anything that happens online too, especially like. It's happened. It's in the past. You can't change it.
Spent
even though you might delete
minutes.
it from your profile, it's still gonna always be there in the internet somewhere, and someone's gonna know about it. Someone's gonna find it 10 years later. So you might as well just let it go.
Yeah. So here's the interesting thing too. Here's the interesting thing.
We don't own copyright to that song.
Spending like time on talking about it. It gives, here we are on air in the media talking about how he was defending himself or whatever. If he hadn't spent 12 minutes defending himself, whatever, like talking about, oh, he had a nice tie and didn't want to get the water on it, all this stuff, whatever, like he had to slowly go down the ramp because it was wet. If he just, never mentioned it, never tried to defend himself or, reason or give reason to what he was doing, we wouldn't be talking about it on air. We would have forgotten about it.
Yeah,
by now.
exactly. And also, I want to note too, speaking of me bringing up that copyright thing to Jeremy, I want to realize that I've not realized. I wanted to mention that Trump has not been using his music legally, and actually happened over the weekend too. There was a whole thing that came out. Tom Petty's song "I Won't Back Down" was used in the rally on the weekend, and his estate came out with a whole thing that said Trump was in no way authorized to use this song to further a campaign that leaves too many Americans in common sense behind. Both the late Tom Petty and his family firmly stand against racism and discrimination of any kind. Tom Petty would never want a song of his used in a campaign of hate. He liked to bring people together. There was a whole thing. It goes longer, but it was a whole post that was on all his social media. And I thought that was so interesting because they were using that. And that's not the first time I've heard that too. He's used Memory from Andrew Lloyd Webber, from Cats.
Interesting.
And he's also used a lot of Rolling Stone songs. I know they're very upset about it too, but I just thought that was interesting too. Like you're trying to say, send a good message, and then that's coming out too, that you're not paying for the music you're using.
That's interesting.
So I don't know. I thought that was just, I wanted to bring that up real quick because I said,
yeah, no,
I said we didn't own the copyrights to Disney. And then that made me think of it.
Though, because like, you know, I think it's just another kind of example of you can't do and say whatever you want to do and say.
Exactly.
When you are in a position of power.
There's still laws, like copyright laws, so.
Yeah. So anyways,
yeah.
That's a whole different conversation, though.
Yeah, I can go on about copyright laws for anything. So.
Yeah, so no, but anyway, so after Trump arrived back at the White House on Saturday night, apparently crestfallen at the rally flop, we do have a image of him walking back all sad and depressed. As you can see there, tie undone, crumpled up Make America Great Again hat in hand.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite part. That was like,
it's a really well taken picture, I will admit, from a photographer standpoint. It is a surprisingly well taken picture.
You know, and I'm shocked too because I feel like normally I would see him try to put on like more of like a smile just to pretend it's like.
Yeah,
so,
no,
like,
normally he does try and pose. I think he obviously knew he was having a picture taken of him.
Yeah.
It's hard not to know. But either way, that's so anyways, he was crestfallen at the flop, but reports began to emerge that for weeks, a legion of online fans and K-pop music or Korean pop music, teenagers on TikTok, and other people online had been taking part in the Under the Radar campaign to spoil the big night. In the run-up to the event, the Trump campaign had urged supporters to sign up to tickets to the event for free with their cell phone number, which it could then use to target supporters with various ads as well. All in all, I'm kind of excited to see if more facts about this come out over the week as people, you know, obviously continue to talk about it.
Yeah.
But anyways, poor rally.
Well, I guess the way to know, and I mean, I don't want them to do this anytime soon just because we should let the coronavirus kind of come down still a little before they try to have another inside rally. Yes. I'd be interested to know if they did like another rally somewhere else, like would it be a better turnout? And that's just more curiosity. But also at the same time, I don't want them to do it anytime soon because let's let this coronavirus come down a little with the spike.
Yes, please.
But also it's important to note that inside the campaign, advisors believe disappointing attendance at the rally shows genuine fear for the coronavirus and the reality of President Trump's sliding poll numbers. So, yeah, that's a good point. Obviously, we use campaigns as a measure to like say like, oh, this person has this support for the next campaign. But with these numbers kind of lowering, it kind of makes us wonder. I mean, obviously, it could be because of the coronavirus, or it could be that the polling numbers are just coming down, or that people just not around there are not as supportive of maybe as another state.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. I've been seeing political like campaign ads on TV. And something that I've noticed is that not a lot of them mention COVID, at least the ones that I've seen, which I find really interesting because wouldn't you want to, as a political figure, use that, as bad as this sounds, wouldn't you want to use that as leverage?
Wait,
Or
are you talking about just in any other person's campaign, or are you talking about in his?
in general.
Oh, okay.
I haven't been seeing it pop up, the topic pop up much in political campaigns. Which, anyways, I just thought that was an interesting thing to throw out into the universe.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. But getting back to just this campaign, Mr. Trump and Vice President Mike Pence had canceled plans at the last minute to speak at an outdoor overflow rally that was almost entirely empty, despite claims of nearly 1 million people registering for tickets to attend the event in Tulsa, Oklahoma, as the president's false boost of never having an empty seat at one of his events. So yeah, it's just interesting because like they were like the article said they were supposed to do the inside one, and then they were supposed to speak to the people that came and were outside, but there was nobody there, so they didn't do it. So
yeah, there were empty seats inside, so there probably wasn't going to be many people in the overflow section. The people say as he came out to the crowds, he looked a little shocked. Him and his advisors backstage appeared to be a little surprised. He was warned on Air Force One that the crowds in the arena were smaller than expected, but nonetheless, he was stunned, and he yelled at aides backstage while looking at the endless rows of empty blue seats in the upper bowl of the stadium. This is according to 4 people familiar with what took place, who were most likely working backstage of the event.
And it's also important to note that we give the presidential candidate Biden coverage also equal time, because he is still someone that's running in the fall election of 2020. Joe Biden has been mostly like off camera and avoiding like kind of the scenes of this. I've been seeing his posts on Twitter, and he still comes out and he does interviews, but he's not very like obviously as vocal as our current president, because he's not our president.
It's hard to be as vocal as our current president.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, but he's also kind of just making his statements a little known. And I think almost in a sense, I don't want to say like this is a better approach or not, but I feel like it's interesting because I think he's kind of just taking a step back and just letting and not getting in the conflict almost, which in a sense could be a good thing and a bad thing. But like he almost just doesn't want to get involved in like making a stance on something yet, because I think he just doesn't want to be in the middle of it. He did in the few weeks prior has visited Floyd's family, who has been working with the Atlanta's mayor. So he's trying to make like little adjustments with the whole like, you know, working with the Black Lives Matter thing and all that stuff. And he's also held a few events and therefore committed a few missteps. He conducted television interviews and has slowly started to hold public events. But Mr. Biden's aides said they have no plans to stage the sort of rallies Mr. Trump held this weekend. So I don't know. I do not know. I don't know. Ryan, what do you think?
It's a weird time, I think. You know, here's the thing. I am all about you know, the people expressing themselves, especially over the internet, in different ways. I'm a huge fan of comedy, of humor, and I find this hilarious. Obviously, it's a little, you know, sad and disheartening to see that it was so successful, I guess, in a way. It's just messy.
Yeah, it is.
In a sense. It's
and politics are always messy. And
politics
that's the thing too. It's very much like you never know. Like I was talking about the past elections and stuff with people at my work and stuff, and I said to them, I'm like, you know, at the end of the day though, each side is awful mostly every time, and we can never agree, and it's just the reality. Not saying now, I'm talking about in the past too. It's we just never know where to go, and like we just have to kind of hope. Hope in a
Yeah.
sense, and
And
that's vote.
Mhm.
That's really it. At the end of the day, too, I do want to put that out there. In New Jersey, actually, if you're registered to vote for the primaries and everything, you should have just received something in your mail to vote. So
yeah, another big concern too. Hillary is also quite absent, or was absent, and that backfired. She won the public vote, but some voters felt she was elitist by not holding more press conferences and doing more public visits and
I
whatnot.
don't know. I don't think that really has to. Like, I mean, I get like.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
she
yeah,
did have the public vote, but
it's
they ended up did not win the like.
yeah,
That's not how
exactly.
we're.
She
You know
ended
what I
up
mean? She
not
doesn't
winning
have to
anyways.
do anything anymore. She's done. You know, I mean, not that she's
No.
like she.
In the past.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I was gonna
Yeah.
say like, because I'm like she lost. Like I don't.
No. In the past
Mhm.
is yeah. And currently this is a concern with Biden too. We're seeing a lot of stuff from Trump. We're not seeing as much stuff from Biden.
Well, I think we still have a little bit of time. I think
We have a lot of time.
I think
Yeah.
let's just cross our fingers and hope. And I think we should move on from this story because I think we
It's
could talk
true.
about it all day.
And also too, for everyone out there, maybe just something to think about. There are bigger concerns right now, in case you haven't noticed, out in the world. So if you're
Yeah.
stressed about politics and the rallies and whatnot, please understand there are much bigger concerns.
And the most important thing to do is just educate yourself.
And educate yourself.
Educate yourself on both sides of, and then figure that out for yourself of where you might stand.
Yeah.
So
One big concern that people should worry about is New York is reopening.
oh my goodness.
I mean,
Me too.
I'm excited, dude. So from Macy's Miracle on 34th Street store to the World Trade Center's office towers, New York City is hitting a key point today in its road to recovery. Outdoor dining is now available. Hair salons and barbershops are back open for business. Kids can go back to their favorite playgrounds to
Wait,
play
really?
outside for the summer. Yup.
Wow.
This
I don't even think
also means-
New Jersey didn't even do that yet with playgrounds.
Yeah, this also
Wow.
means that many office workers can return to their desks, although many will probably be waiting that one
Yeah,
out.
I was gonna say a lot of people are definitely waiting that out and just kind of maybe because if you're getting your work done from
Mhm.
home, why do you need to be in the office? You know what I
And
mean?
it's interesting. A lot of companies are starting to realize that that wait a minute, we can run a lot of the business remotely. However, that said, the city is estimating that anywhere between 150,000 to 300,000 additional workers are going to be returning to their jobs today, which is like 2 weeks after reopening began with construction, curbside pickup for retail, wholesale manufacturing, that stuff. I think this is very good. I'm weirdly saying this. I
Well,
think it's very good and positive. However, please be safe, people, because
Yeah, it's
I
a
go
step.
out and I
think
see people not wearing masks, and we had a whole talk about it before the show, and it's
I
bothering
think
me.
it's a step, and I think that's where we're gonna know. We've been seeing a lot of other states that have been like pulling back on their plans now and have been stopping and reversing it.
Yeah.
So I think we have to take this step because we're gonna have to do it sooner or later, and that's gonna be the test because we're gonna see how many cases we get in New York after this after this happens. We just have to. It's gonna be a test trial. We don't know. We don't have a vaccine yet. We don't have medications that will like help us through it, like treatment and stuff. So
Yeah.
we just need to kind of try and see what happens, and then eventually, if it's too much, we pull back, and that's what we got to do.
Exactly. I think this is cool for New York. Jeremy,
Yes.
what are your 2 cents on this, man? I'm kind of torn. I think it's great, but I also think it can be bad if people aren't careful. What do you think?
I am glad that they are in phase 2 of reopening. It's nice to see that now both states, New York and New Jersey, are on the same phase. And
Pretty much, yeah.
I look forward to seeing the city lighten up again, which it will in the second phase. Not the same as it might in later phases, but to see outdoor dining, children on playgrounds,
Some sense of
non-essential
normalcy.
retail.
Yeah.
I don't know. The playground thing is still worrying me a little bit.
That is
like,
slightly concerning to me.
Because
Too.
like okay, or when you're
Not
in
all parks and playgrounds are reopening, mind you. Some are.
when you're in a hair
Um,
salon, you could like I guess you can kind of like you can cut from a distance, like you'll cut your hair and like you'll be wearing masks and you're most likely older, so you'll know like what's going on, or you have an adult with you, so you have your mask, you're like ready. But like at a playground, people could go on the slide and then leave, and then like you're still on.
And kids are germy too.
Yeah,
man. Because let's be honest, kids
know.
they're gross. They're germy. They get like bodily substances everywhere. Kids are just gross, man.
This would
Gross
have been the
germ
time
machines.
for anybody besides the pools. I know we had that discussion a few weeks ago. Pools and playgrounds in your backyard, right?
I'm still livid about people complaining that they can't go to the pool, but
pools are opening in New Jersey today.
Yeah, I'm aware, Amanda. I don't like it, but I'm certainly not going to go to the pool anytime soon, nor my favorite playground. I don't think my playground in my town is opening. I like going to the playground.
Right, Ryan, do you go to the playground?
I like the swing. You think I'm joking. I like the swing. I'll go for a walk, throw a podcast on, chill on the swing. Heck yeah, dude. You're never too old to ride on a swing, and you're never too old to ride on the back of a shopping cart. I will say that statement till the day I die. It is fact.
Or do you in those certain grocery stores? In those certain grocery stores where you have like the little car, do you get in the car and you just?
No, don't be ridiculous. I'm too big for those. Don't be ridiculous, Amanda.
No,
anyway,
so we were talking about
New Jersey.
Awesome. Okay, sorry, I was trying to make a segue there, Ryan.
No, go segue away.
So New York reopening, we're gonna move to New Jersey. As we know, last week New Jersey restaurants and bars and all that jazz outside opened up, but one specific bar had its license revoked from serving alcohol in the parking lot. This is in Morristown.
Call them out, Annabella.
Tashmoo's bar in Morristown, I think that's how you say it,
yes.
was closed after town officials say it violated social distancing and that there was a lot of people. There's too many people. This was posted on the Morristown's Instagram.
Yeah, for those of you who are interested, you can see this disgusting picture that we are sharing with you right now.
And what I was telling Ryan and Jeremy before the show is that I actually saw this picture in my newsfeed from a friend that lives in Morristown, and they were like, this is disgusting, like, what is going on?
This is all reported by NJ.com, by the way, so thank you, NJ.com, for supplying.
And so I'm just, wow, like, when I saw it again, and, I mean, good for the town for, like, stepping in and, like, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Taking it, you know, like stopping it and taking their license away because it's just not fair for these other people. And especially if you go back and you look at the picture on NJ.com, you could see they're not wearing masks either because they're drinking.
No,
obviously.
Because they're all drinking.
So yeah.
I mean, obviously, you can't eat a mask, or you can't eat what? You can't wear a mask while you eat. You can't wear a mask while you drink something.
Exactly.
Unless you do the straw thing that I've been doing where you tuck the straw up from underneath the mask.
NJ.com did try to reach out to the business administrator. I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind. They did reach out to Morristown, like the tavern's officials and stuff, and they didn't obviously make a comment. So I was reading the wrong one.
I mean, how do you comment on that? Like, what do they say? So what are your, why would you do that? Like, can you comment for the paper? Like, what are you going to say?
You could ask them, like, why they allowed it. Like, I don't know. But.
Yeah. I'm thinking as a business owner, how do you respond to that?
At the end of the day, I think like I said, the Morristown police did a great job. They kind of just shut it down, and that's what you had to do. But talking about eating outside, that's called a segue.
That's a segue of a lifetime.
So I'm going to tell the story because I think Ryan wants me to tell the story.
Yeah, let's check your storytelling a minute.
Over the weekend, I decided to try the outdoor dining. And before I go into the outdoor dining, after I came home, I text Ryan. I'm like, hey, Ryan, on the Morning Buzz on Monday, we should totally talk about outdoor dining because I just went out tonight. And he's like, Amanda, I just went out too, and we should totally talk about it. It'll be a great story. And then I'm going on with the rest of my day, Sunday rolls around and I'm thinking, wait a minute. I saw Jeremy post about on his Snapchat story this week about going outdoor dining this week. So I was like, so then I get on the show today and I said, we have to talk about it now.
Wait, real quick, Jeremy, when did you go out to eat this weekend? Was it Saturday?
I went out to eat Thursday night. We
went Thursday.
Parents' anniversary.
Thursday, gotcha.
Great. The food was great. I loved the outdoor dining experience.
It would have been funny if we all went the same day.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. It would have been so funny if you had gone out Saturday, because we all would have gone out to eat Saturday.
Well, yes,
planning
I was out Saturday. I was out Saturday as well.
Yes.
Perfect. So the morning
Yes.
buzz, without any coordination, we all went out to eat on Saturday.
Where'd you
At
guys go
different
to?
places. So yeah, so that I'm gonna ask you first, Jeremy. So
Yes, because you went
first
first.
and foremost, where did you go to eat? How was one of your
On
where'd
Saturday
you go
or
to eat and how was
Thursday?
it?
Tell us both stories.
Both.
So Thursday was my parents' anniversary. We went out to this nice ristorante in our old hometown. We know the owners pretty well. Great people. They're both siblings. And we ate outside. We had Italian food. Delicious. We always go there whenever my sister and I come home from school or we go for special dinners. It's great. Then Saturday, I hadn't seen my best friend in a while, and I was just in the mood to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I was in the mood ever since I heard outdoor dining was going to be a thing. And before all these restaurants were blocking off part of their parking lots to have the outdoor dining, the only restaurant I thought of that actually has it was Buffalo Wild Wings. So I mentioned it to some of my friends. Unfortunately, some couldn't come, but my best friend was able to come. And we ate outside. It was great. We spent about maybe an hour and a half there talking, eating wings. Wasn't too crowded. It got crowded later on. Loved the warm air. And then I ate outside yesterday, just not out. Well, I guess you could say outdoor dining, but I wasn't at a restaurant. I was at my family's house.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right.
So, all right. So I gotta ask: were people, in your experience, wearing masks and social distancing when you were out to eat?
So at the one restaurant Thursday night, there was only one other family there. We only wore a mask if we had to go inside to use the bathroom. We didn't wear masks outside. I didn't see people either because they're with their family.
Yeah.
When I was at Buffalo Wild Wings, I noticed the same thing. But here's the thing. I was with my friend. My friend's wearing this mask, these gloves, these everything. I'm like, you're very prepared. He's like, there's still a virus.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay. So Amanda, Miss Marino, where did you go out to eat
Okay,
on
well, I
Saturday?
was supposed to actually go out Thursday too, but it didn't end up happening because my friend was sick and he stayed home. That's what you're supposed to do.
Oh, wow. He was a responsible human being. I wish there were more of those in the world. Anyways.
But I wanted to see my boyfriend. So I was like, okay, so Saturday night we were like, all right, let's go by the water, which was probably our first mistake what we were gonna do. So we went by like the beach because I live like not too far from the beach, and so we went to try to place in Seabright, but it was like way too crowded, and they're not taking reservations ahead of time. So I was like, okay, let's just keep driving and we'll see what happens. So we keep driving and we see what happens, and we eventually hit like Asbury. And Asbury right now is doing the same thing that Red Bank is doing, which is they have tables in the streets, like they blocked off streets and they like have tables in all the restaurants. So we went into the crowd and there were so many people, so many. And I was like, I look at him, I'm like, I'm putting my mask on now because I'm like walking through these crowds of people with no masks and stuff. I'm doing it. I'm putting my mask on. So I put it on and we try to go to all these restaurants and all of them were like hour plus waiting time, and I was just like, I'm not gonna stay here. And honestly, we got back into my car and we're trying to figure out like what to go, where to go, and honestly I was happy with not staying in that area, I think, because there was just so many people and I was just like a little anxious about that. So we eventually like started driving. I'm like, where are we gonna go? So we eventually thought, okay, what about MJ's in Tinton Falls? And so MJ's is like a chain, like have like 6 or 7 of them, and we're just like, let's go there. It's like you can get burger, pizza, sushi there. It's like you can get like kind of anything. And so we called, and they were like, oh, hour and a half. I'm like, okay, whatever. We showed up in 20 minutes. Well, no. We showed up in 20 minutes, and they were like, oh, yeah, we have a table for you. And I'm like, oh okay. So you lied. But anyway, we went to, they had like seating in their parking lot, but then they also had a little patio area. So they put us in the patio on like on a high top. And there was only 6 other tables there, and there was only 2 of them filled, and one of them left within the first few minutes of us being there. So I was like, okay, so they were like more than 6 feet away from us, the tables, like probably like more like 7 or 8 probably. I don't know. But then our waiter had a mask on, so that was good. He kind of kept his distance too. We both wore our masks when we got to the table. We sat down, and then we took them off. I kind of, because I'm a little germaphobe a little bit, I kind of wiped my area a little bit because I was just a little nervous. Like I had like a little like hand sanitizer wipe that I wiped the table
Perfectly
and the chair
reasonable.
with. And then we wore masks. We both had to run to the bathroom at one time, so we ran into there with our masks on, and there was hand sanitizer right outside both places to kind of like wipe. But then like that was really it. Like it was fine. We got our food pretty quickly. We got our check. The menus were paper, so they didn't so they could just kind of like throw
Yeah, I
them
noticed
out.
that as well.
That's interesting.
And they also gave us they didn't use real forks. They had like the plastic ones. So they could just throw them out afterwards. So they don't even have to worry about washing. Same thing with the cups too. Like I had a cup of water and it was just plastic cup.
Huh.
So they could just throw it out and they don't have to worry about like washing it and not being washed fully or whatever the case may be, I guess. And yeah, and we just kind of ate our food and we just like left because we didn't want to like kind of keep up the table for a while. We just wanted to kind of like use it, eat, and then leave. Then we got ice cream after, and we just social distance getting ice cream.
So I gotta ask, how was it? How was like your experience eating out for the first time in months? Did it feel weird?
I'm going to be honest,
relieving?
I was a little anxious at first because I was really like, you know, something that you do all the time, like that you used to do all the time, and now you're just like so nervous to do it. I was a little anxious, but I was glad I did it because I talked to my mom about it because I was like nervous, and she was like, Amanda, eventually you're gonna have to go back to school too, and it's gonna be the same thing. You're gonna be running into people, and you can't like you're not gonna avoid people the rest of your life because of it. So I'm just like, yeah, I guess it's a good point. Like, so I'm like, just kind of take baby steps. I feel like if I stayed in like the Asbury Park area, I think I would have been way more nervous and way more. I don't know if I'll do that anytime soon again. Like kind of just going into
Asbury,
an area where
Asbury is crowded.
Yeah,
normally.
And like on a normal day, yeah. And so like I think that's
and now
what
that
happened.
we're in quarantine, it's still crowded.
Yeah, I think like I liked going to a restaurant where I knew there wasn't a lot of people, and that was really nice, and that the tables were far enough away. If I find more restaurants like that, I'll keep going out, but I don't think I'm gonna go out like every night or anything. I definitely won't. And I don't know. If I say the local restaurants are definitely the better way to go, and just kind of like, I don't know, a table that does, if you know they're not going to get a lot of business or they'll get enough business that you could feel safe. That's what I'm going to say.
That's fair.
Now,
All
Ryan,
right.
what did you do? Where did you go?
Well, mine is a little different. I actually went to the mall. There's a restaurant that is not connected, but I mean it's separated by like an alleyway like width from the Bridgewater Mall in Bridgewater.
Okay, yeah.
And the place that I went to, I went with my dad and my girlfriend, and we kind of went there on a whim. We just wanted to see if they were open or what the mall was doing, and we noticed that people were outdoor dining there. And it's this place called Redstone, and
I've been there before. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It is really good. They have such good cornbread. That's their whole thing. They have this huge cornbread for appetizer. But anyways, so we kind of went there on a whim, and we noticed. By the way, if you haven't done this and you have some free time, it's a weird experience to drive by a mall, just drive through the parking lot or past the parking lot of a mall right now, because you have never seen it so empty. I've seen more cars in a mall parking lot at like on a Tuesday at 11 o'clock at night. It is weirdly empty at malls right now. But by the restaurant, it was there were a couple cars there. And it was nice. We sat outside. They have this nice patio outside with an outdoor bar. So we sat up at the outdoor bar, and we got food. Our bartender was wearing a mask and gloves, and so were all the waiters and other waitresses. And it was weird going out and eating for the first time in a long time. I will say it was nice, but it was kind of like you said, Amanda, a little bit anxiety inducing. I have been feeling weird going out to places that are crowded. Now, needless to say, this wasn't crowded, and something interesting actually happened. So we were sitting up at the bar, and they had my dad, who was I was up against the wall. There's my girlfriend. There's my dad, and my dad was a couple seats away from these other people. He was over 6 feet away from them. Well, some guy came up and he went to sit down at the bar with the hostess or whatever, and the bartender said, "Excuse me, sir, you can't sit there," because he was going to sit in between my dad and the other people, and there were like 3 or 4 empty seats. And he looks at the seats. He says, "Why can't I sit here?" And she says, "Well, we have to keep social distancing. We can't have you sit there because you'll be too close to the people on either side of you,"
Yeah, yeah.
which I thought was awesome. Thank you for the people who are
No,
actually
yeah,
enforcing
and I
that.
think that brings back up the point of that restaurant or the bar we were talking about before we got
Mhm.
into our stories about the buzz of going out to eat. That the restaurant doesn't want to get in trouble, or the bar doesn't want to get in trouble.
The
Just
restaurants are responsible
just like you
just
don't want
as
to get
much as the
sick.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, and that they're just doing what they got to do, because at the end of the day, it's like looking at like these major corporations that are not opening yet or doing things. They're like, we don't want to get sued. We don't want to get our licenses taken away from us, and like
You
that's
can't
just what you have
have
to
a
look
business
at.
without customers.
Exactly.
You know, I guess there's no, I don't think there's a better way to put it. You just can't have a business without customers. So you got to watch out for your customers as a business. And obviously, yeah, you don't want to get sued for having a packed restaurant. That
Do you
said,
guys
it
think?
was actually really nice going out to eat for the first time in a long time. It's been a thing my dad and I do a lot. We love going out to eat to our favorite restaurants. Ever since I was a kid, we would go out to taverns or whatever. We'd, find a high top by the bar. Ever since I was a kid, we'd find a high top by the bar and we would watch TV and just have appetizers. Like that's what I grew up with.
Do
And
you guys think
it
you
was
were
nice.
glad? Do you guys were you guys glad that you guys like kind of went out and you feel like that you kind of like reached a point where you're like, okay, I'm like becoming like more okay, but I'm still like getting there with this like being out.
I will admit I have been feeling um I have been getting anxiety a lot when I go out and I'm around a lot of people. And I think that's from me being in quarantine for so long. And it's something that I'm glad I was able to step out of my shell kind of and, go out to eat, and it did feel really good.
Yeah.
After I kind of got past that initial wave of anxiety, it was very nice. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful out this weekend. Sitting at a covered outdoor bar in the shade, there were fans. It was perfect.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like also, I mean, Jeremy, you might relate with this a little bit. I feel like because I've been back at work now, I'm just as like I could get you could get the virus anywhere at this point. You could literally step out your house and you could if someone like I don't know, like the point is you can get it anywhere. And like so I'm just like I know I'm still personally going to be taking my precautions. I will still be wearing my mask. I will still be carrying hand sanitizer or like carrying hand sanitizer wipes with me to like do what I got to do, but like
Yeah.
personally I'm starting to take the steps as long as that's involved in the process. So
Yeah. So Jeremy, quick question before we wrap. Did you or do you think you'll start eating out again?
Absolutely. I miss it. I love eating out. I love being with my family. I love meeting my friends. And I love eating outside. I mean, especially during the summer with the weather
Oh, yeah.
so nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an outdoors person. I love looking at the sunset. And it's funny, my dad and I, we're now working out together. We have a personal trainer that we've been using while the gyms have remained dark. And I said to my dad, I said, I really like working out at 7 o'clock at night because I like just, working out as the sun's setting. He's like, well, I like 5 o'clock better. But bringing it back to eating out, yeah, I mean, it's something I've been doing for years. There was a time where my family every Saturday night would go out to dinner. Every Saturday night.
Yeah. And it's awesome to see that we're able to do that now. Again,
maybe we'll all have a morning buzz get together.
Maybe.
On the Monday morning buzz, we'll meet all together, guys, and we'll get
I would love that.
I think that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
So we always like to wrap, or at least try to wrap, with a little bit of good news here on the Morning Buzz. And this was fantastic. Thank you, Annabella, for bringing us this story, or at least finding this story for us. So whenever people, speaking of, I guess, food, whenever I order pizza, I always try and, under the additional instructions, I always try and get them to draw something on the box. Normally I say, please draw a giant smiley face on the inside of the box, draw something. I very rarely, very, very rarely do they ever actually do it. But on Amazon, there is actually an option for additional instructions for delivery people. Well, a teenager had some pretty funny additional instructions for their Amazon delivery person, and the driver followed those instructions to a T. Um, Lynn Staffieri of Magnolia, Delaware, needed a new pet playpen for the kittens her family was fostering, so she ordered one on Amazon. But her teenage son had left some additional instructions uh, that he had set a few months earlier in the box under the prompt. That read, "Do we need additional instructions to find this address?" The 13-year-old wrote no, but knock on the door 3 times and scream abracadabra as loud as you can and run away super fast. Here's the video posted by the mom, taken from their home security footage. Check it out.
Abracadabra!
And if it sounds funny, I can guarantee you it looks about 100 times funnier. She
Best
really
part
does
is,
spin on a heel, run away, and like hops over a little potted.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The best part is like her like jumping over the pot outside. She just like jumps and just like.
It's awesome.
I think it actually like helps them have some fun in their days too, like the delivery drivers, like especially like, you know, think about if you're working for Amazon, you're like delivering these packages like every day, and it's like that just like, I don't know, creates a spark of fun and enjoyment in your day, you know?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Whimsy, if you will.
Whimsy.
It's throwback to that word. Yeah, no, it's fun. The kid told CNN it was just the first thing that came to mind, and he thought it would be funny to hear someone say that. And obviously it was, as it blew up all over the internet. When the package arrived last week, the mother was unaware, or the mother was unaware, as well as the son. He had forgotten his instructions. So when they both heard 3 knocks on the door and someone screaming abracadabra, they said they were pretty shocked. But the mom did say, quote, Jacob was cracking up. He thought it was the funniest thing. He didn't think that anyone would do that. I thought it was great. It gave us such a laugh. So I hope it also gave all of you a laugh. Staffieri posted the video on Facebook. It blew up with over 20,000 shares and 16,000 reactions, and now almost 2 million views. And just kind of a fun thing to end on, something that I can really resonate with, and I hope you can too. Somebody commented on the video, "In today's world, we all need a little fun and laughter. What a great Amazon lady for playing along with this." So try and find a little bit of fun and laughter out in your day today. It's a beautiful day outside. If you do go out to eat, make sure that you wear a mask. You're safe. Please stay safe. I guess with that,
Yes.
I've been Ryan Trick.
And I have been Amanda Marino.
And our awesome newscaster. Pointing down because you're down on my screen, Jeremy.
I'm down on his screen. I'm Jeremy Wall.
Thank you very much for joining us on today's episode of The Morning Buzz here on 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair, New Jersey. We will gladly see y'all again next week on the Monday Buzz. And of course, you can tune in to the rest of the Buzz for the week, Monday through Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you. Shout out to Annabella Poland and Adam, the radio ninja, for keeping our boat afloat, winding our sails. We wouldn't be on air without them. With that, Adam, cue us out.
I'm already dancing without you, right?
She's already dancing without me. Just start dancing. Apparently my computer needs to update. Just got that notification. We're dancing. I'm snapping.
The hawk has landed.